Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the article about the ordination of a tree. It's meaning about how boundaries amongst intelligent response to environment problem, especially deforestation. But I think the article is not just about the environment. It's also about religion, society, and even politics. So in our discussion, we are not only explain the article, but also try to analyze it more deeply. And feel free to agree or not disagree with each other. So yeah, let's start with the background.
I will start now. So basically, the article talk about the deforestation in Thailand, which has become really serious over time. The forest area has decreased a lot in just few decades. One important reason is economic development. For example, people cleared forests to plant crops like maize. This is not because they want to destroy nature. It's more like they need income to survival. So they are actually forced into this situation. I think that's why the problem is so difficult to solve, because it's not just environmental, it's also economic and social.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think this is exactly why the ecology marks are important. They try to change how people think, not just what they do. And in Buddhism, starving comes from greed, ignorance, and hatred. So they say environmental destruction is actually caused by these human problems. And because of that, protecting natural becomes something moral. It's like if you destroy the forest, you are doing something wrong, not just economically harmful, but morally wrong. And I think this shift is thinking is very powerful.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think there's another side. Even if people understand the moral message, they may still cut trees because they need money. So this becomes a conflict between moral values and survival needs. And honestly, survival usually comes first. So I think this is not just about individuals making bad choice. It's more like a structural issue, like poverty, lack of education, and limited opportunities. And unless these are solved, the problem will continue.
Yeah, that is a really important point. And I think we also need to look at the politics side because deforestation is not just the case by villagers. Large companies and the government politics also play a role. For example, Longines company can cut large area of forests. Uh, and sometimes politics encouraging economic development over conservation. So the responsibility is not equal, and this creates power imbalance. So I think environment issues are deeply political.
Yeah, I agree with the Chen. I think this is why the MOOCs role becomes so interesting. Traditionally, MOOCs are not supposed to be involved in politicals. They focus on spiritual guidance. But now, they are doing things like organizing environmental campaigns. They even cooperate with NGOs and government officials. So the roles is expanding. And I think this can be both positive and risky because it may strengthen influence, but also create criticism.
Yeah, I really like this example for anthropological perspective because the tree organization is actually not a traditional practice. It was created by monks to respond to a modern problems. So we can say it's social construct. And I think it's very important because it shows the culture is not fixed. It changed according to the social need. Religion is also dynamic. It can be used creatively. And this challenging the ideas that religions is always traditional.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think this creativity is actually very effective because religion is something people already trust. So when Marx say protecting trees is a moral duty, people listen. It creates emotional and spiritual pressure, and that's stronger than laws sometimes. Also, it creates a sense of community. People feel they are doing something together. So I think this approach is quite powerful.
Yeah, I understand that, but I still disagree. I think this approach has clear limitations. First, not everyone is religious, so its influence is limited. Second, when monks enter political issue, it can be controversial. Some people may think they are overstepping their roles. And this may reduce trust in religion. So I think we need to be careful.
Yeah, from my perspective, both sides are making good points. Religion is definitely powerful in shaping values, but it cannot solve everything. So maybe the best approach is combination, like religion, policy, and economic development. For instance, giving villagers alternative income sources. That way, they don't have to cut trees. And then religious idea can reinforce that behavior, so it becomes more sustainable.
I agree with that. And I think poverty is really the key issue here because people cut trees mainly for survival. So even if they believe in the ritual, they may still do it. So the real problem is economic inequality. And without solving that, environmental problems will continue. So I think religion is helpful, but not enough. So we need deeper social and economic changes. Otherwise, the solution is only temporary.
Yeah, I think this discussion really shows how complex this issue is. Religion can influence people's values and behavior, but at the same time, it has limitations. Environmental issues are not just about nature, they involve society, politics, and economy. So we need multiple approaches, and I think this article is really good example of that. All right, thank you everyone.